Okay, so yeah, we're going to quickly review the Bengali projects. Yeah, thanks for the congratulations. Um, uh, we're just getting up in the morning here. But yeah, so yeah, so the pull requests, I see you already merged those through.
Yeah, and I was on this step, and then I'll just let you know the step which I got stuck here. Yeah, in the switch to master branch and create a GH page.
Okay.
So I'm stuck there. I'm stuck there.
Sure. So how are you working with GitHub? Are you using the terminal? Are you using the application?
No,
How are you working with it?
to be honest, it's very confusing for me. What I usually do is, sometimes I work on my desktop and we on the laptop, right? So usually I upload to GitHub from my laptop, right? So while I was working on the desktop, what I do is usually I copy the current file and paste it over the main folder, you know. So that's how I used to, and then you send a commit.
Yeah, sort of.
That's usually my procedure, my steps.
Are you using a laptop now?
Yes, this is laptop now. Yeah.
Okay. So if you share your screen, then we can talk through it, if that's okay.
Yeah, I will just share it.
And then Andy, are you using the Git system?
Yeah, I was using the desktop thing, but now obviously it was a bit confusing. So Neil is doing mostly the updating, but you suggest we should have different accounts and then upload to the main.
Yeah. So looking at the repo, I can see that Neil Akash has his own account. Do you have a GitHub account for yourself?
Okay, I have an account, but I haven't used it for this.
Okay, all right. So we'll go through Neil's, and then afterwards we'll go through yours.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Cool. So
should I go to the main file?
So let's just kind of step back a bit. So you have like the kind of cloud copy that's on the GitHub server. And then you've cloned that to your computer, and so you have a folder in your computer with the files. So
that's right.
On the left of the user interface here, you can see on GitHub, you see the brand new Bengali repo.
Right.
So if you right-click that, then you can say open in Finder.
Yeah.
And then you find that you have this folder here. And then if you enter that, then you've got Mayak Grounded and Nushri.
That's right. Yeah.
And so if you so if you move that window to the right so that you can see the contents of the folder, that's it. Perfect. Then switch back to the GitHub app.
Right.
So along the top bar, then you have a couple of different buttons. So the first button is to add a new repo. If you click that drop down, the very first one. Let's step through them.
This one, right?
Yeah. So that's like add. So you can add a repo that already exists. You can create a new one, or you can clone, which means to copy down from the GitHub server.
Right.
Okay. So then the next button on the toolbar is the sidebar toggle. So if you click that, then you'll turn on or off this sidebar.
Okay, that's great. Yeah.
And then the next button is the branch add button. No, the button to the left of that.
Branch, got it.
And so this shows you, that drop down shows you which branch you are on and which branches there are recently used and other branches.
Okay.
And so the button to the left of that has kind of a little kind of forking plus icon, and if you click that, then it will ask you, to create a new branch and which branch you want to create it from. Okay. And then the next buttons on the toolbar, it says no uncommitted changes. And so that shows that there's nothing in the folder that's changed since the last commit.
Yes,
And
yes.
if you click that, it's kind of empty.
Yeah.
If you click it now, please.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or you can't. Okay, yeah. So maybe you can't click it because there's nothing to commit.
not uncommitted. Because we have just updated in the afternoon, I guess. That's why.
Yeah. So then in the history, then you can see within this window, along the top, there's this black bar, and that shows you the commits in a kind of timeline. And then underneath the black bar, then you have the list of commits, the number of files that changed, and then when you click on one of them, then on the right you'll see what changed line by line.
Right. All right.
Okay. So if you go to the web browser that's on your left there.
Oh. Which one?
I think to the bottom left. You have your browser. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Safari.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go to the code tab.
Okay. Right.
So we can see that you. So there's a drop down in sort of the middle of the page on the left saying branch.
Right.
Next to the green button. And if you click that, you again get the list of branches. So you have design, style, and master. So if you click on master, then you switch to seeing the master branch.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And if you click that now.
Yeah, just clicked it. Okay.
Then you can see the contents of the master branch.
Okay.
So if you go to that menu again, yeah, then you can see that it says find or create a branch. So you could do this in two ways. You could either create the new branch in the desktop app, or you can create it on the web page itself.
Okay, right.
It doesn't matter which way you do it, but when you do it, you'll then have to sync the other copy to that copy.
Right.
So if you go back to the so the other place we can see the branches is at the top of the white area. There's a bar and it says 12 commits and 2 branches. So if you click the 2 branches link, then you see this table and it shows you what branches you sort of have remaining. Okay. So you can see your default branch is design style, and then the only other branch now is master, and that is 3 commits behind the default and 6 commits ahead. Okay. So if you go to the desktop client, and then you switch the branch. So on the menu bar at the top of the window, there's that drop down. No, that's the add repos. It's the yes. So if you switch to master, then you can see on the right in the Finder the files changed.
Okay.
Did you see that happen? Yeah. You see the files there have changed.
Okay. Okay. Yes. These are the earlier ones, right?
Well, this is the versions that I made and sort of proposed to you. So if you then go back to the GitHub app and then click sync.
Sync, yeah. Okay.
Then that's going to pull down those changes from the server, from the GitHub server, and sync them. So we can now click on that forking button on the toolbar and type in gh-pages.
Gh-pages.
No, not underscore, dash. Yeah.
Pages.
Yes.
Okay, let's create.
Yes.
Okay, right.
And then you want to click publish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now go back to the web page
Okay.
and refresh that page. And you can see there's now the GH Pages branch.
Yes.
So
Right.
you can now go to Settings.
Settings.
And then Branches. And then change the default branch to GH Pages.
Okay, you have to
And click Update. Yes.
Okay. Oops. What happened?
I don't know. It's working for me.
Okay. So okay. Good.
Yeah, there's a link on the bottom right there.
This one, right?
Yeah.
And you go to Settings. And you go to Tools. And you say GH Pages.
Yeah.
Update. Okay. This change?
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So now if you go back to the Code tab and then the Branches area.
Okay, yeah, there's yeah.
Yeah. So that's now the default. So if you go to the Branches area by clicking the link at the top in the white bar.
Okay, this one.
No, the white bar.
White here.
No, it says 3 branches.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. So then you can now click the red trash can for master and design style.
So, I delete the master?
Well, hang on a second. So the master one, you see the numbers 0, 0. That means it's 0 behind and 0 ahead. It's completely in sync. So we can delete the master one.
Okay.
But for the design style one, then it's actually there's something there's some changes ahead and some changes behind. So let me just I'm gonna sort of so if you click new pull request, then we can compare them.
New pull requests here.
Yes. And so then if you scroll down. Okay, so the changes were just that you merged in the other things. So in fact, we can just delete this branch because there's nothing meaningful in it. So if you go back,
okay, so delete this,
and then delete it. Okay. So now if you go back to the GitHub app, and then sync.
Right.
Thank you. And then if you click on the GH Pages drop-down, then you can see you have some recent branches in there that you can basically, sort of forget about them. If you want to remove them, then you switch to them by using that drop-down to switch to them.
Switch this to?
Yeah, so go to like the BNT updates.
Okay.
Click one of them, and then in the branch menu at the top of the screen, the menu bar, there's a branch pull-down menu. At the very, very, very top of the screen, in the menu bar.
Okay.
Yeah, branch.
New branch.
No, the branch menu. The menu in the menu bar. No. At the very, very top of the screen, next to the window menu. And the help menu.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you can say delete.
Delete. Okay. Delete.
branch.
Okay. Shall I delete this one,
Yes.
right?
So this is we deleted them from the server. Now we're going to delete them from your computer because we've
Alright.
merged those changes into the GH pages branch. So we don't need these branches anymore.
Okay, because it's already unified in GH pages, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. This done.
So then you can see there's some other branches there. There's design style, there's master. So
And
you can delete them as well.
Disconnect and then design style delete. And this okay. What about master as well, right?
Yeah, master can be deleted.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. So that's all kind of cleaned up. Let's see. When I emailed you guys, sorry.
So in next time, to work on this GH pages, I need to first create a branch. Do I need to create a branch, or should I just commit working on the?
Well, yeah. So over the last couple of months, then what you've done is when you've added new updates, you've made a branch for those updates,
right.
and then pushed the branch and made a pull request. But then you haven't merged the pull request. So when you're just making changes by yourself, you don't need to make a pull request. You can just make the changes. So you can just commit them to the GH pages branch, and then hit the sync button to push them up to the server.
Okay.
And so I would recommend doing that like every work session, basically, like every couple of hours. When you move away from the computer, if you commit the changes that you made then you can type in a little message to remind yourself what you did at that point, and then it's a nice history of how the project developed.
Okay. All right. So, because I was working on a source tree earlier with Adobe. So there you need to create. Is it the same system or is it different? What is it?
It's the same system. So source tree is just another graphical user interface to GitHub. So Adobe, also use GitHub to manage all of their projects. This is something that they said one of the main benefits to them of working on Libra fonts was, learning to use Git for collaboration. Because when you work on a Libra project, you collaborate with the public, but the tools to do that are very powerful and good, and so even in a small private team, they're useful.
Okay.
Okay. So if we does that make sense?
Yes. So I just want to go through once. So now we have updated. The files we're working the files from GH pages right now, right?
The main branch that we're working in is called GH pages. Yes.
So for the next step, what I do is I make some changes, right, and commit. Just commit.
So we can let's go make a change. You open up that glyph file.
So where is that? Okay, here. So go to. Where do you go to the? Okay, here. View and Finder, right? Yeah, I'll just open one of this. Oh, these are.
Yeah, I renamed the file. Yeah.
Oh, you renamed the file. Okay, I was wondering. Yeah. Okay, for now, You have this, right? Example. So I'll just right now what I'll do is what I do. Just make a.
For example, you should have a non-breaking space glyph. I don't think you have one yet. So
Sorry?
a simple useful change would be to add the non-breaking space. So if you search, then yeah, you can search like NBSP.
Non-breaking space. I don't have it.
No, exactly. So if you search for space,
Yeah.
and so right-click that.
Right-click.
Maybe just copy and paste it. If you just do like Apple C, Apple V.
Copy and paste. Okay.
And then right-click, yeah, and so rename it to MBSP.
MD.
Lowercase.
Okay. And NB?
Yes, that's correct. MB space is actually come up as a suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you use that, then it set the Unicode correctly, and because you copied and pasted it from space, it has the same value as space, which is correct.
Okay. So
you then save that.
Okay, save this.
And then go to the GitHub application.
Okay. And go
uncommitted. And then you can see there's an uncommitted change.
Right.
So you can see then, line by line, what's changed.
Okay, so added. Okay. Right. So let's copy paste the same one. Right.
Okay, so the first line is like the first is like the summary line, which should be around 60 characters, like a tweet. And then if you want to add more additional information, you can add that into the box underneath. But it's okay to leave that box blank.
Okay, right. So this, right. So and you commit to GX pages.
Yeah. So if you click commit, and then you go to the web page.
Okay, you don't have to do anything here now.
Well, I just want to show you what's happening. So if you go to the web page,
right,
you can see, and then click on the code tab. Then you can see at the light blue bar, just below where you are now, it says the last commit was 40 minutes ago. And so if you go back to the web app. Sorry, the GitHub app.
Okay.
Right. And then click sync.
Sync. Okay. So it's syncing with my desktop to the server, right?
Yes, it's pushing up to the server.
Server, that's right.
And then when this is finished, go back to the web page and refresh the page.
Right.
And now you can see that commit has been added to the server.
And it specifies where it is, right, in this news tree.
Yeah. So at the right side of that blue bar, you can see that each commit has like a cryptographic ID number, which is
this number, right?
So, and if you click that, then the website will again show you the line by line, comparison of what happened. But it says that actually it doesn't show you line by line because there was too many changes, and that's because Glyphs has updated the paper format, and so it's changed a bunch of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but no problem.
This is quite clear. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next thing I would say is that at the moment you have these two folders for the two projects, but really you should have a different Git repo for each project.
Okay. Right. So we create as a two project in the BNT account.
Yes. So the brand new type is the GitHub organization.
Right.
So if you go on the web page if you click the blue brand new type link on the top left,
right,
then you can see that there's also this design styles repo, which is empty. and hasn't been updated since October. It's the big blue link.
All right. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know exactly what this repo was. I guess it was, you know, you were playing with the GitHub interface.
Yeah, I don't know. Might have.
Yeah. So you could delete that. You know, you could remove that repo. So if you click on it, you can go to. If you click inside it and then go to settings.
Settings.
And then at the bottom of this screen, there's a delete button.
Delete this repository.
Mm-hmm.
This one, right?
Yeah. So then you have to type in design_styles.
All right.
Okay. So now on the top right, you can see that you've got two drop downs, a plus and then your username icon.
Right.
So if you click create new, then new repository,
okay,
it gives you the option to set the owner. And so you want to change the owner in the drop down to brand new type.
Okay.
And then you want to set the repository name to the project family name. So I guess we can say myek rounded. Like, we're pretty sure about that name, right?
Oh, we want to change it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
so you can change it later. Maybe we should do this when you have the name decided.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
So we can change the name later, but this we can do it right now. What?
Okay, sure. Well, so let's call it myek rounded because we can rename it also later. So just maybe just all lowercase, just without spaces, myek rounded.
Rounded, yeah.
So there shouldn't be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean either. Yeah. You see the message that says your repo will create it as myek -rounded. So you can either add the dash or remove it.
Okay. That's rounded. Right.
Okay. And so then for the description, you just want like a short sentence that says, like rounded low contrast, like Bengali font family, or like rounded low contrast Bengali font family.
Okay. Public.
I think having font family is good. Font is probably a key word there.
Right. Okay. When somebody looks for it.
Yeah. So then now, if you click create repository.
Okay.
Okay. So you can then click set up in desktop. At the top, on the web page, in the blue area, there's a button on the left.
On the left.
Yeah, set up in desktop. That's right.
Okay. Well, I want to ask this thing. Suppose if I do this, can another person from the group also can access it in his own computer?
Yes. So anyone in the brand new type organization will be able to make changes to the GitHub server copy of this.
Right.
The idea of Git is that anyone has a complete copy on their computer, and they can make whatever changes they want, and then they can push their version up to their GitHub server area, and then they make a request to you to pull those changes in from their version to your version.
Okay. All right. And one more question, Dave. While say I was explaining how I worked earlier in terms of like I was working on a different computer, right? And I'm copying the file to the folder I share with GitHub, right? To update. So this font file which I'm pasting on the laptop, wouldn't it have all the data that I work on the particular time, all this duration?
Well, ideally, you should have your desktop set up to access the Git repo as well. and then you don't need to copy the files around because each computer has a complete copy of the whole project.
Okay.
And the Git system keeps them all like syncable.
Okay. It has to be synced always.
Well, it's not like Dropbox, because with Dropbox then there's just like the current version, and there's a program running in the background that keeps everything synced up all the time.
Okay.
And with Git, then you make this you decide when the changes get committed.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
So if you want to, you can set it up to be exactly like Dropbox, but then anything that you do in that folder gets pushed to the server, and it's maybe
I was just wondering. Suppose if I'm pasting the same file, for example, right? Say for News3, for example, right? I already have a News3 file in the folder, right? So a new same file, I'm pasting over it and replacing the file, right? So wouldn't it provide all the information for all the changes took place in that particular file?
I'm sorry.
Hello?
Yeah, you have to explain again.
Yeah, I was wondering if when I paste a new file to replace it, right? The existing ones.
Yeah.
So when I paste it, would it not contribute all the data which I have put in while working? And wouldn't it show in the GitHub? I'm just wondering whether it would provide the information in it or not.
Well, so there's in your current workflow, you have your desktop, which doesn't have any Git stuff on it, right?
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Git stuff. I'm working. As in, I don't get it. Sorry.
On your desktop computer.
Right.
There is no Git software installed.
No, just the app.
But it isn't being used.
On the desktop, you mean? Laptop I have, but desktop I have. Yeah, desktop I have.
Right.
Also.
So.
Because I was wondering, I was only worried that the folder which I first downloaded or cloned was in my laptop.
Right.
I thought the changes which only take place there would be synced. So yeah, that was my worry.
Dave, can I just ask one thing? Hello.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm saying, are we working, like say, are we working on the file which is already stored in GitHub, or are we working on the file which are on, say, either a desktop or laptop, or syncing it? Like what Neil is saying, that he's copy pasting it. Is there a scenario where you're working directly on the file which is already in GitHub? So the changes get updated on its own? No?
No. So the idea is that you have to sync the copy between your computer and the GitHub server.
Okay. So you're not working directly from the file which is there in the GitHub. Like in, say, Google Drive, when you store files in Google Drive, you keep working. No, okay.
So the way that you work on Google Drive is that there's a Google Drive program, in your top top right of the screen running in the background, and that is doing the syncing all the time.
Yeah.
With GitHub, then the standard thing to do is that you have to manage the syncing.
Right.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
And then that gives you more fine-grained control over what's happening.
Okay. Right. No, Dave, one more thing. I was wondering if, say, for example, I work in a remote area, for example, for some time, and then take this file, which I haven't, and paste it in my computer. I'm just wondering, if you paste in your folder, which is synced to the GitHub, now you bring this work and then paste it, replace it with the existing one, right? So I was wondering, all the changes which took place in that new file, wouldn't it show up in the GitHub?
Well, yes. If you paste the new file, and then you commit the changes,
right,
and then you sync the commits,
Okay.
to the GitHub server,
Right.
then the
Then
changes
it
will
should
appear.
show. All right. Okay. 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 All right. You get it. Get it. If the files are the same, you mean, right? They will automatically read the files.
Yeah, if the file name is the same, then the
Yeah.
system will record the changes to the file. And
Okay.
if the file is
Okay,
renamed,
okay.
if you just
Mm.
like rename it, then the system will know that it's like the files are identical, but the name is changed, so it's just a
Yeah.
rename.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
if you do both things, like if you like rename the files and then change them, then it will
Mm.
say that you deleted the originals and you've added these new ones.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Great. Yes, and then yeah, let's move ahead to the next step. Yeah.
Okay, so if you click clone, then you'll copy down, you'll clone and make a complete copy on your computer
Okay.
of that repository. But it's going to be empty.
Yeah, it's going to
So,
be empty. Right.
so then we're going to right click and open
The Finder.
Finder,
So have a. Oh,
and then
okay.
so then,
under the brand new itself, right? Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And this has to.
So
Okay.
actually it's a bit confusing because the folder on the left there is the same as the folder on the right, but actually the folders represent different things. So the folder on the left,
Yeah, it's
Okay,
empty. It's
so-
a repo, right? Yeah.
if you go up one level,
Yeah.
no, that's going down. I mean, go to the left.
Left. Okay.
Yeah. So rename that to
Okay.
lowercase brand new type.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
then you now have your GitHub folder,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then if you go left,
Yeah. Get a folder.
home, and then you have GitHub, and then you have brand new type, which is the organization,
Right.
and then inside that you have the repository names.
Right.
Mm.
So now, if you go into the myec grounded folder that you see on the
And then-
right,
And copy.
and
Take
then
this.
yeah, and then move those files, yeah.
Copy first, and then paste it here. Right.
Yeah, and then you need to go and remove them.
Delete this one. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now in the GitHub app,
And then I can change this into. Oh no, I have to.
we can rename it. Yeah, we can rename it.
Yeah, I can just rename it, right? So now history.
Well, so the name, I don't think the name should be Nutri because Shri is like a
Yeah, definitely.
modular.
Yeah, but I'll just call it now for now. Mayek, I think for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we need to go to the website.
Yeah.
And then you need to go to the brand new type repo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, in there, and then go to settings. Andy, while we're doing this, could you log into GitHub on your computer?
Yeah, it's already logged in.
Okay. Okay. And then can you go? So then Neil, can you go to back to the people tab?
This is you talking about the app or the browser?
The browser. And then can you click invite member, Neil?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big green button on the right. And then type in Andy's username.
It's Naurem.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So.
And then you can set him as an owner. Yeah.
Okay. That's done, right?
Yeah. So Andy, if you visit github.com/brandnewtype, then you can accept the invitation. Okay, so we go back to the brand new type area, Neil.
Okay.
And then go into the brand new type Bengali repo.
This one, right?
Yeah. And then go to settings. and then change the repository name to Mayak, all lowercase.
Okay.
And then you can also you can click rename.
Sorry. It did not change here in the web browser.
No, you just renamed the folder on your computer. So we're now going to rename the repo.
Okay. Had I changed there, would it change on the web? No.
No. We need to do both steps.
Okay, right. Rename. Okay. And it has to sync. It has to be same name, right? Yeah.
Well, the GitHub sets up redirections, so we don't need to change anything beyond this.
Right. This is.
Okay, so then you see where it says edit at the top of the white area.
Right.
Then you can click that, and then you can edit that description.
Okay. Okay.
Well, yours is high contrast, right?
It is. Yeah, it's not very high. Yeah. Okay.
Higher, slightly higher.
Medium.
Medium contrast. Yeah, medium contrast is better. Yeah. Medium contrast. Text font family.
Font family, yeah.
Or shall I remove the word text?
No, that's okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because it's can be, yeah, it's mainly for the text. And here, this is it, right? And
Yeah, that's
save.
good. Click save, yeah.
Yeah, and then okay, yeah, we'll change these names later. I mean, in final.
Well, so yeah, so changing the names is totally fine. So then on the GitHub app,
Right.
we can now commit those changes. So this is like you need to add a summary. So you could just say like adding initial files.
Okay.
Actually, so actually, if we go to the Finder before we commit this change, we could actually add some directories to make it a bit clearer. So if you go to the Finder, yeah, and then create a new several new folders. So create a documentation folder, a sources folder, and a fonts folder.
Okay. Documentation.
Mm-hmm.
And then font folder, right?
Yeah, just fonts.
And then next one, what did you say? Last sources. Okay.
And then move the and then in fonts make a folder for TTF.
Okay. Right.
And then move the TTFs in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then move the PDF into documentation and move the glyphs file into sources.
Okay.
Oh, then we should also in documentation we should place the initial ones, the concept of our designs.
Yeah, so exactly. You can add like more documentation in there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And the sources is the
yeah.
main
file.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So if you go back to the app now.
Okay, this is small changes to. Yeah.
Then you can see those. Yeah, so you can just say like initial version. And then commit, and then publish.
What would be this? What do you call this? The
summary.
This summary, right? It's not a branch. Yeah, this was my confusion earlier. I think. I think this is like that's why I created lots of design styles and all those things. I guess. Here was the confusion.
Yeah.
And this is just a summary of what you have done, right?
Yeah.
The changes. All right. Commit to masters. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then so there's one other thing that we can do. If you create a new branch called gh-pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For this also, right?
Yeah, and
okay.
you wanna set it from master.
Master. Okay, just pages. This is for the May grounded, right?
Yes, yes. But you need to say from master.
There's no masters yet.
Oh, okay. Then that's fine. That's good.
Create branch, right?
Yeah. And then click
Okay.
publish.
Publish.
So we can then go to the web page.
Publishing.
And then you can go back to the myXrounded repo. And then go to settings. And then branches. And the GH Pages branch is already the default, so that's great.
Right, okay.
So then we can go to the code tab. And yeah, that's fine. So then go to the go back to the app.
Okay.
And then switch to the master branch.
The
Yep,
master.
exactly. And then go to the branch menu and delete the branch.
Which menu?
The menu at the very yeah.
There's no delete version.
Yeah, that's strange. Go to the GH Pages branch. Switch to the GH Pages branch.
Okay.
And then click on history.
It's okay. Sorry, history, right?
Yeah.
Or do we need to sync this first?
Yeah, click sync.
Yeah, let's sync it and then it's synced. Masters. No.
Okay, go to the GH Pages branch. Yeah, switch. Yeah, switch there. And then click on branch on the branch menu.
Branch menu. Okay.
Yeah. And say merge into GH Pages. Oh no! Click update from master. Yeah, update from master.
From the which master is this?
So master is a branch name. So now click history.
All right, now.
That's strange.
Do we need to sync?
Try clicking sync. Yeah. Click merge into GH Pages.
From master.
And then click merge. Yeah. This is it. Right.
Yeah.
So now click on history.
Click on history.
It says no new commits.
Sync.
Okay, clear. Try sync. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think we can just move on. I think that's fine. You're in the GH Pages branch. That's where you want to be.
Right.
Let's so another thing that we can do is if you go back to the Finder.
Okay, fine. Finder.
Yes.
For this. Yeah. Right.
And then if you create a new text file in that folder.
Okay.
Yeah, right there, called readme in caps, readme.md.
Text file.
Yeah.
Just text.
Sure.
Okay. New document. Readme.
And then you have to press Apple Shift T to convert it to a plain text document.
Readme, right?
So the contents of the file should say this project is in development or something.
Okay. So you change it here. Readme. Right?
Yeah, but it needs to be a plain text file. So it doesn't. That's not going to be quite right. You need to cancel that.
All right. Okay.
And then go to format. No, we needed the file,
Mm.
new document,
Mm.
but then you go to the format menu
Okay.
and say make plain text.
Right. Okay.
So then save that file,
Read me text, right?
readme in all caps.
All caps.
Yeah, and then change txt to md for markdown.
Dot md.
Yeah, for mother delta. Yeah. And then you need to move that to the folder.
Okay. Save as, right? Save.
Yeah, so if you save that, and then you can click and drag the white icon at the top of that menu, at the top of that window, into that folder. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that didn't quite work. It created a shortcut, so we don't want that. Yeah, sorry. If you right-click the white icon, oh yeah, okay, we can do that. Yeah.
White
But
icon?
it didn't save it in the right place, so we need to right-click the white icon.
Okay.
And then click, yeah, iCloud. And then move it from there to there, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now if you go to the GitHub app,
Yeah.
then we see that file is being added, so we can say like add readme. Oh, but we should just write something in the readme first.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So we just type in, like project in development. Save, close.
It changes to MD. It is fine, right? This one.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Right?
And then in the app,
Yeah.
you see that change is there. It's good. You can say added readme. It's a summary. Click commit and then sync.
Okay.
And now on the web page, if you refresh the web page,
There's a readme.
there's the readme.
Right.
Great.
So this needs to be done for the other font as well. Same thing with the documentation source.
Yeah. So if we go to that folder in the Finder.
Finder. Okay. Right.
For Mayek.
All right.
And then we need to. So if you if you rename that folder to sources.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Fonts you have. PDF. Okay.
And then you can just copy the README from one folder to the other.
Oh, great. Right.
And then you can say just like simplified or something. And sync it.
Oh. Refresh. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, this is brilliant. Yeah, finally good. Something
Yeah.
decent stuff.
Yeah, so this is, I think this is now like good, like it's, the repos are like pretty straightforward, it's one repo per project.
Right.
So the two projects basically don't really touch each other.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you can use this system to, keep your different computers synced up.
Yeah.
And if you, wanted to make changes to, each other's things, you can use the pull request system maybe to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. This is great. And now, regarding the Latin.
Mm-hmm.
So, because do we need to add the Latin later on once the Bengali features are done, or can we do before also?
I think adding the Latin, as soon as possible would be good, because then we can at least have, sort of test versions of the fonts that have the glyphs.
I was thinking of sending the files to John today, to have all the features thing for the G pose and G sub.
Yeah.
Positioning stuff.
Yeah.
So he said that he could create the positioning, and then we have to just fix it to the exact positions.
Right.
Once that is done, so would he need the Latin for that? I don't think.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Oh, so independently, handle that, right?
Yes. So John is familiar with GitHub, so you should be able to just send him these GitHub links, and he should be able to work with the files, directly.
Okay, great. I think that would be great. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. So
Dave, I was looking at like Erin's that Hubli, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was trying to and it has only one style, right? Only one weight.
Yes.
So how do you go about that?
So if you look at her file, it's like a stroke font. So you can expand you can make additional weights, relatively easily.
Okay.
And one more thing. So while we're making this interpolation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned about making a curve. I was reading about that.
Mm-hmm.
So you want us to follow the other impellary curve.
Probably,
structure,
yeah.
right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll fix this one. Yeah. And yeah, so that's great. So I'll send this link. Yeah, today I'll send this to John to have a look at this and then fix the thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, on the impellary curve, I mean, it's somewhat up to you. How you wanna, the regular should be, a text weight. So the light, if you think that that's a light or an extra light, it's up to you. But then you can. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. No, I was just mentioning regarding the extra light, because the fonts we're doing, the light is not like a very light in the sense that it's like it's not ultra light.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Newton I was checking, it's not it's next to a regular in the sense,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so it's a text, and a serif type in that sense. You can't really make it extra ultra light. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, we can fix that. And do you have a procedure to combine these two, the Latin and say the Bengali?
Well, you should try to get the original source files as much as possible.
Right.
And then I mean, I think if you open them in glyphs, copy and paste, that might be the easiest way.
But would it? The features will automatically come, or how would it work?
No, you would need to manage. You'd probably need to check the features by having the two glyph files open in glyphs, with the features window, and then comparing them.
Okay. Right. Okay, great. And I'll give ask to John also regarding this.
Yeah.
How, what's the best way to do? Right. So great. This has been a huge help. It's very confusing for us, like coordinate all this.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good documentation about using GitHub.
We have gone through, but it's always we find it really difficult to understand some of this.
Yeah. It's. I mean, we're using the pretty core features of Git and GitHub, so there isn't too much to learn. But there is. It is a bit confusing. Different branches and bits and all this stuff. Yeah. So
something called when I was working with this thing normalizer. Does it work normalizer here as well?
Well, so for the UFO normalizer is for where you're using UFO fonts files as your sort of true source format. But for you guys, you're using glyphs as your true font format, a true source font format. So the normalizer is not relevant. And previously you had exported UFO files from glyphs, but the glyphs format is is an open format, same as UFO. And some Google engineers are working to make a glyphs file format like compiler or generator. So actually, we don't need to have UFO files anymore.
All right.
Okay.
There's free software to convert the glyphs file to UFO if somebody who doesn't have glyphs wants to use the file.
Okay.
Okay.
So we don't need to provide UFOs unless we're working with UFOs only. But we're not. We're working with glyphs. So.
Yes, right. Sources there, yeah. Okay, that's brilliant. Now, I'll send this to John and ask. I'll send it to him. Yeah.
Sure. That sounds great. Okay. Well, so in terms of timelines, how do you think things are going? Do you think it will be, another 2 or 3 weeks?
Yes, I think because as soon as if the John send us the positioning files. Yeah, we should. He says that compilation of the he can do it fast. I mean, he suggested it's not a, because we're following a glib set, right?
Yeah.
So he has that glib set, Yeah. That's what he mentioned. Yeah.
Sure.
I'll update you on this. Once I send to him, and then share with you what he says.
Yeah. Sure thing.
Sounds great. Cool. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay.
Okay. Great then.
Yeah, let's catch up. Sorry, Andy. For your GitHub stuff, do you want to walk through anything with me now, or do you feel like you've seen how it works? And
yeah, I think I'll sit with Neil again, and then I'll go over it.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
Yeah, and then we'll sort the whole thing out, and then maybe do independent whatever this,
Okay. Yeah, sure. Just let me know if you.
We just have to make changes and commit and sync. That's the basic step, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of the stuff we did today was we only really needed to do once. Yeah.
Right.
And then in future, if I send you any changes, then you get the email saying that there's a pull request, and then you go to the GitHub website, and you'll see there's a big green merge button, and then when you click that, then that's merged on the server. So then you need to sync to pull down the changes.
Okay. Before merging, you will inform us something, right?
Well, yeah. The GitHub system will send you the email, and I typically would describe what's happening there.
Right.
Where there can be a problem or a conflict is if you've made changes that you haven't synced yet, and then I might make changes that conflict with the changes that you've because we're both working on our computers, and then we make we make conflicting changes, and then we're trying to merge them. So as long as if you keep your Git synced up, at least every day that you work on the project, then the chance of doing that is much reduced. And as if you sync your if you commit your changes and sync them, then the pull request will like it won't be possible anymore until the conflicts are resolved.
Right.
Okay.
But if you make some changes to your version, and then you merge the pull request and then sync it, then you might have a conflict when you try to do that sync.
Mm-hmm.
But if that happened, then just contact me and I can show you how to fix it.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks so much, and let's catch up next week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.